action is still part of the manifesting game, my friend. So I took massive fucking action, messy action, imperfect action, and this, coupled with everything else that we discussed in this episode, is what led me to signing that $70,000 in contracts. You're listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, a business and mindset coach who specializes in imposter syndrome. If you feel like you're not as smart, capable, or worthy as you actually are, and that someone is going to find you out, then you've come to the right place. I went from being a struggling government worker, working my coaching business on the side, but feeling unworthy and burnt out, to making multiple six figures helping women overcome imposter syndrome so they too can sign clients, make bank, and have the business or career of their dreams. I am nothing special. I have a stuttering disability, ADHD, and I struggle with anxiety and depression. So if I can learn how to feel good enough and overcome my inner imposter, then so can you. Let's dig in. Hello. Welcome back to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, and this week we have all the frickin' things happening because of the Fraud Squad launch, which is over on Monday, and Black Friday, and all the deals that are only available again until Monday. So here is what's going on. Before we get into the episode, I'm going to tell you all the deets, and then we will get into this very juicy episode. So at the link in my show notes, you will see my Black Friday deals. There's options for everybody from low ticket to high ticket. From low ticket, we have the stacked 30-day content challenge, which is only $27. And then we also have the Fraud Squad, which closes its doors to enrollment on Monday, and this deal is a discount on the Fraud Squad Mastermind, which is only $3,999. And as an extra, because of Black Friday, I'm giving you 2 extra calls in December, and I will be opening the Voxer group chat in December too, before we actually even begin the mastermind in January 2024. Okay, so we got all the deals there, and then we also have a deal for one-to-one coaching and one-to-one Voxer coaching. So head to the link in my show notes, click on the link for the Black Friday deals, and you can see them all there and take your pick. And like I said, the Fraud Squad launch is almost over. It's over on Monday. And this is a mastermind for coaches and online service providers who are making between $0K to $5K per month and are ready to unfilter themselves in their content, get crystal fucking clear in their messaging, get massively visible, and feel comfortable being seen in their power online. And you want to create and normalize 5-figure months. This is the room for the woman who's fucking ready to stop letting imposter syndrome hold her back. She's ready to take massive action. She's ready to create content that speaks directly to her best clients. She's ready to stack her income up by being more visible and going all the fuck in on her business. If this is you, the Fraud Squad is the home for you. The support from the other women inside, the coaching from me, the resources and the trainings that you get access to, it is everything you need to go all the fuck in on yourself, your content, your messaging, and your desire to normalize being the woman who brings in 5 figgies a month. So doors are open right frickin' now. And like I said, they close on Monday. As part of your Black Friday bonuses, in December, we'll have the content party call where we do weeks and weeks worth of content in just 1 hour. And we'll also have our welcome call into the mastermind in December too. I will open the Voxer chat as well in December. And you get immediate access to the Fraud Squad curriculum and my content course as soon as you actually join, okay? And then our coaching calls, like I said, will begin in January 2024. And this is the perfect opportunity for you to start the new year on the best foot possible. Get clear, get confident, and get that cash money moving in your direction. The investment is discounted at $3,999, and there's 2 payment plans available. You can join directly at the link in my show notes or send me a DM to see if it's the best fit for you right now. I love you so much and can't wait to work with you either in the Fraud Squad or in one of my Black Friday deals. So head to the link in my show notes and you can get the intel on both of those things, or if you're confused, send me a DM on Instagram at your Coach Jill and we'll chat. So let's get into the motherfucking episode. This episode is from one of the best Instagram posts I personally have ever written. I just knew it had to be on the pod, and it's how I made $70,000 after a slow as fuck season in my business. So this was the Uber Eats era, you guys. For those of you who don't know, for about a month in 2022, I drove for Uber Eats to supplement my income, and it's something I reference often because it was such an emotional turning point for me. At the time, it really did suck balls. I felt a lot of shame, embarrassment, la-di-da, but it is such a good story of seemingly hitting rock bottom, in quotations, because I'm aware it could have been way worse. It definitely felt a low point in my business, but it taught me so much about persistence, about how nothing is ever as bad as you think it is, and just so many other lessons. But okay, so because my business was in a low point, my income dropped between 3 to 4K at one point. And this may not sound like a big deal, but my expenses exceeded that. So it felt like a big deal. And I didn't exactly feel supported in the container that I was in, which is a story for a different time. But long story short, I felt very alone and confused and wondered to myself how the fuck I was going to go back to making 5 figures a month again. And just a couple of months later, I was celebrating signing $70,000 in contracts. It all felt like it happened out of nowhere, but what really happened was I had been laying the groundwork for months to make it happen. Even when things were slow, when I wasn't sure when my next sale was going to be, when literal tumbleweeds were passing through my DMs, I continued trucking along, continued doing my thing, and the result was stacking and stacking and stacking until I had signed $70,000 in contracts in just 2 months. So what were the things that helped me do this? So the first thing I did, I had to fully ignore the numbers and what was happening in my current reality so I could create different results for my future. This is crucial. This is key. Some of you might know that I'm working with a speech coach, and one thing that I have to do every day is read out loud for half an hour. And one of the books that I'm reading out loud is A Happy Pocket Full of Money. And this book is so good, you need to read it. But they say this so many times throughout the book, how your results are just evidence of your past vibration and the past thoughts you were thinking, and that you must continue to stay in the present and deliberately create your future. So basically go full fucking Delulu, which is what I did in the beginning of my business without even realizing it. It absolutely helps no one for you to sit in your current reality if things don't look the way you want them to look. Now, I'm not saying you ignore your responsibility or your bills or anything like that, but it does require you to become the gentle observer of those things and not make them mean anything about where you're going, because you are always creating the future. Every moment you spend dwelling on what's happening in your reality is what will continue to persist. So I didn't spend a lot of time in my current reality. I dropped the shame that I felt. I continued to see myself as a bad rich bitch, even though at the time it was not my reality. And a very short time later, that is literally exactly what happened. Hey guys, I hope you're loving today's episode. I am just taking a brief pause in today's episode to share with you a client testimonial. These testimonials are either from group coaching clients or clients who are in my one-to-one coaching program. And I can't wait for you to hear how I have changed their lives and their businesses for the better.
Leaving the container, I was basically a whole new person. Like my entire life changed. I was expecting to just work on like a little bit of confidence and business strategy, but we deep dived into everything that had been holding me back my entire life, from releasing shame to always questioning myself in every move and word and thought that I had, and releasing people pleasing and imposter syndrome and perfectionism and just so many things that had been holding me back.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Now let's get back to the episode. The second thing I did going off of that, I had to believe that I was a good coach, a good person, and that my slow season meant nothing about me. I talk a lot about radical responsibility, but sometimes we can use this against ourselves when the reality is sometimes business can be slow. Did my confidence and my circumstances lead me to my results? Absolutely, and I was willing to take responsibility for that. But responsibility doesn't have to morph into shame. It was just a slow season, and it doesn't mean that all of my qualifications or capabilities went away. It was actually so funny because my clients at the time were getting better results than I was. I remember being like, what the fuck is happening? I can't sign a client to save my life, and my clients are doing like 5 figures a month, no problem. So yeah, I had to believe that my results were not reflective of me as a person and not even myself as a coach. I learned so much from this slow season, and truthfully, I am the coach I am today because of that slow season. Now I know exactly how to coach my clients through it so they can come out of it on the other side, and I've done that with several clients now. My skills, expertise, experience, etc., that shit doesn't go away because of a little less money in my bank account. And me discounting myself, sitting in that imposter syndrome, shaming myself, it was only going to delay my results even further. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy. If I was going to make sales again, I had to believe that I was good at making sales even at a time when I wasn't. The third thing I did is I had to be okay with what people would think about me if they knew that I was in a slow season. I remember having a flopped launch, which I think I talked about in the previous episode from last week. And immediately after it happened, I wanted to get in front of it and I wanted to be an example to my clients. And one of them actually reached out and said how safe it made her feel. And then she signed on for another 6 months with me. I could have hidden away what was going on. I could have kept it hush-hush about my flopped launch, but I chose for it to be okay that people knew some pieces of my experience, even if it changed their thoughts about me, because integrity is one of my core values. And this reinforces everything I tell my clients, so I need to walk the walk. If someone gives a fuck, they aren't my best clients anyways. If someone can't see my humanness, if they're dumb enough to think that their favorite coaches have never seen a hard or rough patch before, then I don't want to work with them either. I know, scandalous. And number 4, the last one, I took action, regardless of how I felt, regardless of how low my confidence was. Like, going live was a no-no. I didn't do any kind of like events or sell anything but one-to-one coaching, mostly because of the conditioning that I had received to not do that. But my confidence was at an all-time low. And even though I was doing the bare minimum, I was still doing it. I was still making posts 5 to 6 times a week, showing up and selling almost every day, and putting my feelings aside so I could do that. I showed up and did my job, and those efforts all compounded to me getting back to my 5 figures a month and signing $70,000 worth of contracts in 2 months. And this might not resonate with some people because it technically goes against how you shouldn't show up in the wrong energy and blah, blah, blah. But I also see this as my job. And sometimes I don't want to do my job. Even though it's fun and I get to literally create for a living, it doesn't mean that I'm always fucking jazzed to do it. And during a time where I had low confidence and low belief in myself and a lot of shame about my lack of results, showing up definitely felt harder. It felt like more work. It felt exhausting at times. But a part of me being Delulu and creating different results than I was experiencing meant that I had to do the things that would allow me to create those results. Action is still part of the manifesting game, my friend. So I took massive fucking action, messy action, imperfect action, and this, coupled with everything else that we discussed in this episode, is what led me to signing that $70,000 in contracts. And ultimately, what this is recommitting to yourself and your business every single day. It's easy to run your business when sales are up. It's easy to run your business when you feel good. It's easy to run your business on day fucking 1. What's not easy is waking up every day, and even if you didn't make a sale, committing to yourself anyways and keeping the train fucking moving. Being an online business owner is so trying emotionally. It can feel very defeating if you allow it to. But I promise you, from someone who has literally hit rock bottom before, your efforts are compounding. They are all adding up to you having your biggest cash months and your best clients ever. So I mentioned that I was reading A Pocket Full of Money. And something that I want you to think about is the fact that everything that's occurring in your current reality is evidence of your previous vibration or your previous thought pattern. And here's the thing. If you're changing the way you feel and you're changing your thoughts, it's just a matter of time until your reality catches up to you. It's just a matter of time until what you're thinking and believing and feeling now is going to create your reality. And when you come to work with me inside of the Fraud Squad Mastermind, you don't just get the strategic parts of growing to 5-figure months. like the messaging and the content. You get that too, but most of all, you get the mindset and the belief that makes you feel like a big fucking deal, that keeps you in the game, that helps you calibrate to and maintain those 5-figure months. Whenever my income has gone down, it's because of the thoughts I was having and the lack of belief in myself. In the Fraud Squad, you stay high level and high fucking vibe. But of course, we feel our feelings and work through the shit we need to work through, because that's also what this space is for. But most of all, we stay anchored into our power. So, my love, are you called to be in this space? This mastermind is for coaches and online service providers who are making $0K to $5K per month and are ready to unfilter themselves in their content, get crystal clear in their messaging, get massively visible, and feel comfortable being seen in their power online. And they want to normalize creating 5-figure months. This is a room for the woman who's fucking ready to stop letting imposter syndrome hold her back, to take massive action. She's ready to create content that speaks directly to her best clients. And she's ready to stack her income by being more visible and just go all the fuck in on her business. And the Fraud Squad is your home, if this is you. The support from the other women inside, the coaching from me, the resources and trainings you get access to, it's everything you need to go all the fuck in on yourself, your content, and your messaging, and your desire to normalize being the woman who brings in 5 figures a month. The doors are open right frickin' now, and they close on Monday, November 27th. As part of the Black Friday bonuses, when you join, you'll get the Fraud Squad at the discounted investment of $3,999, and there's 2 very flexible payment plans available. Also, as a part of the Black Friday bonuses, we'll have the content party, a party where we do weeks and weeks worth of content in just 1 hour, and we'll also have our welcome call in December. I'll also be opening the group Voxer chat in December as well, and you'll get access to the Fraud Squad curriculum and my content course, Unfiltered and Filthy Rich, as soon as you join the mastermind. And then our calls will officially begin in January 2024. This is the perfect opportunity for you to start the new year on the best foot possible. Get clear, get confident, and get that cash money moving in your direction. The link is in my show notes to join, or send me a DM on Instagram to chat. And you can also see my Black Friday deals at the link in my show notes, including the deal for the Fraud Squad. There is something for everybody when it comes to Black Friday this year. So I love you, and I will see you next week. Thanks so much for listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. Head to the show notes to learn how you can work with me, where you can buy my best-selling book, You're Not Special, and how to get on my email list for free. Screenshot this episode and add it to your Instagram stories, tagging me at YourCoachJo. See you next time.